ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. So here in this 14th chapter, we have been seeing about the three gunas and what is the result of the three gunas, how they bind the individual, what is the way by which the jiva, when a specific guna, when one drops the body, when the specific guna is predominant, then how the jiva attains higher worlds. If it is sattva guna, then the earth, if it is the rajoguna is predominant, and one goes down if tamoguna is predominant. All that we saw. And in the 19th verse, Bhagavan said, Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanu pashyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam saha adhigacchati. So one who sees very clearly that there is no other karta except the gunas. Na anyam kartaram gunebhyaha. So one very interesting thing is, in different places you will see different expressions are given. Some places it is said Maya is the karta, some places it is said Ishwar is the karta, some places it is said Prakriti is the karta, some places it will be said this Guna Guneshu Vartante. So one may get confusing, who is the karta? The point is to know, I am not the karta. You can say Ishwar is the karta, then surrender to Ishwara happens, acceptance of the results will happen. One can say that no, I am saying that Prakriti is the karta. Okay, then if Prakriti is the karta, then Prakriti will deal with the consequences. You are not the karta. Gunas, then you are the witness. These gunas, yada drashtanu pashyati. These gunas are playing with each other. Whichever attitude one takes, the basic crux is to understand that I am not the karta. Today the false identification is with this body, mind, intellect, and one thinks I am the karta. I am the bhokta, and that is the cause of cycle of birth and death. Here, what does one understand? Na anyam gunebhya kartaram. There is no other karta except the gunas. And how will one know that? Because I am the drashta. I am seeing the gunas coming and going in the mind. Yada drashta anupashyati. Then gunebhyascha param veti. Then one understands that I am the witness. I am different from these gunas. I am beyond the three gunas. And that is the true self. That is my nature. Madbhavam sa adhigacchati. Bhagavan says that person comes to be one with me. Which means that the self in us is that infinite consciousness. Earlier it was said madbhavayopapadyate, say madbhavam sa adhigacchati. So the purpose of studying the three gunas is to realize this self which is beyond the three gunas. It is not just to handle our daily life, yes, it is important to have a certain clarity about the gunas and also to rise from tamoguna to rajoguna, from rajoguna to sattva-guna. But why should I live in sattva-guna? Because I want to realize that nature of mind which is free from the gunas. Because that is immortal. That is that which is permanent. Gunas, however great they are a rope finally. They bind. Guna literally means bind. Guna literally means a rope, and that means bondage. So a person who understands this, the main reason why we study the three gunas is to rise above all the three. It is not just to make some cosmetic changes in one's life. That also can happen, but that's not the ultimate purpose. If my life becomes more and more sattvic, then yes, my mind will feel more happy. There is more harmony, there is more creativity, more productivity, more efficiency, all that. But that's not the only purpose. That's not the main purpose. It's not just that, okay, from tamas I come to rajas, so now I become active, dynamic, ambitious, have goals, achieve them, feel success. Those are a part of the journey, they are the means. But the main goal is this. Gunebhyascha param veti. What is that which is beyond the guna? Is the supreme, is the self, is infinite. And that one has to know. That when one realizes, one says that, oh, that self in me is one with the infinite consciousness. Now, Bhagavan concludes this portion with this 20th shloka. Gunan etan atitya dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkaihi vimukto mritam. So it is 19 and 20, they are similar. They are like falashruti of this. What is the purpose of study and what will be the result? So he says in 20th one, Gunan etan atityatrin. These three gunas, when one transcends. So we have to understand, transcends these gunas means what? Not that the gunas will end. This prakriti, the BMI will function in the gunas as per its prarabdha karma. One stops identifying with these. One doesn't say further that I am lazy, I am ambitious, I am successful, I am sattvic, I am peaceful, I am unhappy. That is the condition of the BMI. I am not this. That is called Gunan Etan Atitya. Identification has stopped. Whatever happens to this watch, whatever happens to the computer, to this table, to this book, it doesn't happen to me. Whatever has to happen to it, it will continue to happen. I may watch it, I may see if anything I can do, I may do, but it is not happening to me. In that way, this happens to the body, mind, and intellect, not to me. This, when one understands very clearly, then there is no confusion. So the person, Gunan Etan Atityatrin, and what are these? See, Dehi word is given. Dehi here does not mean the indweller, that Jivatma. Dehi here means the self, consciousness. This consciousness, when one realizes, my nature is that consciousness beyond the three gunas, and it is the Deha which is born because of the three gunas. Deha samudbhavan gunan etan. That's what is the connection one has to do. This body which is made up of the three gunas. When this individual, Dehi, comes to realize that I am not this body, I am not even this jiva, I am infinite consciousness having risen above the three gunas, then what is the result? Earlier he said madbhava yopapadyate, or in the earlier shloka he said that madbhavam saha adhigacchati, one will become one with the self, one with Brahman, with infinite consciousness. The result of that also is janma mrityu jara dukkhaihi vimuktaha, freed from the dukkha of janma, meaning no rebirth. So obviously no death and no old age. In this life also, death and old age, one will not have fear. Body will go through something, mind will go through something as per its prarabdha. Otherwise, old age is very scary. And death also one is very scared of. But here is the person who is free from the dukkha of this. Janma mrityu jara dukkhaihi. Oh, that means they will not get dukkha. A body may go through some difficulty. Their mind is not identified with it. So many great masters. No, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had cancer of the throat. Ramana Maharshi had this sarcoma in the hand. Then Gurudev's heart was functioning only 16%. It's not that body will not go through pain. Body will go through what it has to go through. Mind will also go through what it has to go through. The Jivan Mukta has already trained the mind to live in Sattva Guna and then gone beyond the mind. Now, as per Prarabdha, whatever happens to the mind, it will happen. But the Jivan Mukta is not identified with it. So the dukkha, if at all it is there, it belongs to the mind. Pain, if it is there at the body level, it belongs to the body. Same applies to sukha and same applies to pleasure. So janma mrityu jara dukkhaihi vimuktaha, freed from it once and for all. Mukta means free, but then one can be again bound. Vimukta means no bondage at all, ever. Once freed for all, once and for all freed. Vimuktaha. Acha, what will be that state then? Beyond three guna, dull, lazy, or vegetative type of a state? No. Amritam ashnute, attains immortality. Is of the nature of permanent bliss. So these two verses, 19 and 20, they are the result of the understanding of three gunas, how they bind, and how each of them can be predominant and the other to become dormant, and how to rise above each. All this, when one understands, then this is the result. One will be freed. One will become established in the self, realize the nature as consciousness, and free. Become one with the Supreme, free from birth and death, attains immortality. All are one and the same, but expressed in different ways. Now Arjun has a question. And what is that question? What are the signs of such a gunatita? So see 21st one. Arjuna uvacha kairlingaistrīn gunan etan atito bhavati prabho kimacharah katham chaitan trin gunan ativartate. So Arjun's question is, kairlingaihi trin gunan etan atito bhavati prabho. What are the signs of this person who has gone beyond the three gunas? How to recognize? Kailingaihi. With what signs? Linga here is sign. With what signs one will recognize that, oh, here is somebody who has gone beyond three gunas? First question is that. Second question, kimacharaha. How does that person behave in the daily life? Is there any difference in their behavior, in their conduct? Tatham. Then, katham cha etan trin gunan ativartate. And how does this person transcend the three modes? Earlier only what was said was how to, from tamas to rajas to sattva, how to rise, and one guna predominates, the other two gunas become dormant. All that was explained. But how to go beyond the three? That was not told. So three parts of the question. Part one, what are the signs of this gunatita? How to recognize the gunatita? Second, what is their conduct? How do they behave? How is it different from the common people? And third, how does one go beyond the three? So the first two questions are similar to the Sthita Prajna Lakshan. The differences in Sthita Prajna Lakshan, he is asking what is the nature of that Sthita Prajna in Samadhi. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava. When the person has fully withdrawn from BMI, body, mind, intellect, in that state of complete absorption in the self, does that person experience any blankness, or is it pure consciousness? What is it? And then how does that person act in the world? Kim asita vrajeta kim, all that. So that way, first two questions are similar, not if not exactly same, similar, because that is in samadhi avastha. Here is not speaking samadhi. Here is in general how to recognize somebody who is a gunatita, and what will be their behavior change. If one is saying that prarabdha is there, the body, mind, intellect will continue its prarabdha. The self is a witness, not identifying with it. How will a common man know? They may also see that Jivan Mukta is doing similar actions like others. Then how to know that what changed in their behavior? So these are two questions. And third one is how to go across. Now, Gita gives this in different places. Gunatita Lakshan in this chapter, 14th. Sthita Prajna Lakshan in second chapter. Then we have Sannyasi Lakshan in the 5th chapter. Then we have Bhakta Lakshan in the 12th chapter. Then you have even in 15th chapter, a small brief indication, but 15th chapter also has, that will come ahead. Qualities of a Jivan Mukta. So it seems repetition, but the paths are different in each. This is through three gunas. Bhakta is through the path of bhakti. Sannyasi is through the path of renunciation. So that is one reason why there are so many places the qualities are given. Second is to understand also that through different paths also which one is following as per one's temperament, the final realization is the same. And the characteristics that one sees in such people, they are also similar. They are also not different. The same qualities you will see in the Bhakta also, Jivan Mukta also, Sannyasi also, Sthita Prajna also. Whichever appeals to us, their qualities become sadhana for us. What is effortless qualities for them becomes sadhana for the seeker. Hence, it is important to study these so that we apply this in our life, that becomes our sadhana. That is one reason. Second also is when we meet some Mahatma, we are able to recognize. And if we have not met a Sadguru yet, then we find a Sadguru and then we can surrender to that Sadguru also. So that's why one has to know. Now, Arjuna asked this question. So what does Bhagavan answer? Now let us see. 22nd one. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prakasham cha pravrittim cha Mohameva cha Pandava Nadveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kangshati. So first quality he says. So he answers all the three questions in sequence. So now he will answer this. Kairlingai strin guna netan atito bhavati prabho. What are the qualities of the person, or what are the signs by which we recognize who is a Jivan Mukta, who is a Gunatita? So he answers from this 22nd onwards. So he says, Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava. Prakash is illumination, pravritti is activity, moha is delusion. Na dveshti sampravrittani. This person doesn't hate their presence, nor does he long for them when they are absent. Na nivrittani kangshati. So if they are present, he doesn't feel why are they there. And when they are absent, he is not longing for them. If they are there, okay. If they are not there, doesn't matter. What are these three? Prakasha, Pravritti and Moha. These indicate three gunas. If you remember the quality of Sattva guna, when it was being described, it was said, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvat Prakashakam. Sattva guna is Prakash. The word Prakash indicates Sattva guna, illumination, the state of illumination. So Prakasham. And there it was said, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatvat Prakashakam Anamayam. Nirmala and Prakasha. Purity and illumination. Purity of the senses, of the mind and the intellect is the main quality of Sattva guna. And that will give rise to knowledge, Prakasha. Prakasha is illumination, discrimination between right and wrong, permanent and temporary, that. So, Prakasham. So, when the mind has this illumination, this capability to know, the knowledge one will get only then. If Sattva guna is pradhan in the mind, then one will gain knowledge, absorb knowledge, understand it correctly, and one will be able to apply also. That is Prakash. Prakasham cha. Then Pravrittim cha. Now very interesting. Rajoguna, it was said, Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi Trishna Sangha Samudbhavam Tannibadhnati Kaunteya Karma Sangena Dehinam. So activity and attachment, they both are qualities of Rajoguna. But here attachment is not mentioned, activity is mentioned, meaning the Jivan Mukta has knowledge, has discrimination, there is no doubt in the mind. Gunatita here is same, Jivan Mukta Gunatita is same. And the activity also is there. It's not that the Gunatita is dull, lazy and just sitting doing nothing. Even if that happens, there's not laziness. They are established in Akarta Bhav. But one may see so many dynamic Mahatmas, Shivananji Maharaj, Gurudev, Samat Ramdas, so many of them, dynamic. So activity also happening. But there is no attachment. The binding factor is the attachment. The activity is not the binding factor by itself. Karma doesn't bind by itself. Karma binds the karta. The karta bhav is gone. That was what was said earlier, no? Nanyam gunebhya kartaram yada drashtanu pashyati. So karta bhav has been given up. But the Jivan Mukta, the Gunatita has realized, I am not the karta. Like that example, where the criminal is suppose sentenced to 14 years of rigorous imprisonment. And that person dies after serving the sentence for 5 years. Now what will happen to the balance 9 years? Written off. Nothing. No, entity only is not there. What karma phala, who will get? Same way, the karta, this jiva realized I was never the karta. Not that at the moment of Jivan Mukti I become free from bondage of karma. One realizes I was never the karta. When one wakes up from the dream, what does one realize? One doesn't realize that now I am free. One will realize I was always free. The dream was an illusion. I was lying on the bed. Nothing happened to me even when the dream was there. So before the dream, during the dream, after the dream, I am the same. Same way, one says I am the self before, during, after. I was never the karta. So karta bhav, if it is not there, karma is happening through the BMI, let it happen. That is past prarabdha of the BMI, it will do some activity. The Mahatma has no dvesha towards the Rajoguna, nor one is craving for some activity, is restless to do something. Na dveshti sampravrittani, na nivrittani kankshati. So prakasham, pravrittim and moham. Swamiji, how will moha be there in this person? Delusion, how will it be there in the gunatita? See, moha has two aspects. One aspect of moha is when we say it is the ignorance caused moha. Because I don't know who am I, then I have a delusion that I am the BMI. That moha is got destroyed in the gunatita. Second type of moha is the daily, regular, vyavaharik moha. For example, somebody is telling me some lie. I don't know. I, in the sense we are saying about a gunatita. Somebody tells gunatita some lies. That gunatita doesn't know. Then one thinks that this person is telling the truth. That is delusion. One is in delusion. But it is a delusion which is a functional delusion. It is not a delusion born out of one's own false identification and ignorance of the self. One will see sometimes delusion in the world outside also, you know. The mirage will appear. Even the gunatita will see mirage. And one may even get confused saying, oh, there is water there. That is also delusion. So this delusion is not binding because the jiva, the root cause of bondage is the delusion where one thinks of oneself as the limited, and that is because of ignorance. That has been removed. Ordinary delusion remains, functional delusion. That one can't stop. Some optical illusion happens. How will one? That is the limitation of the senses. So, in all the three, so there will be sattva guna prakasha, there will be rajoguna pravritti, there will be moha, the functional delusion. In all the three gunas, they come and they go. They will be a part of the prarabdha of that BMI. If they are there, the Jivan Mukta says, okay, they are there, they are playing their own play part. If they are not there, the Jivan Mukta is not craving for them. If they are there, he is not wondering why they are there, they should not be there, he is not resisting. And if they are not there, he is not craving, why this is not there. In our case, we crave and we despise. If tamo guna and rajo guna comes, then we despise as a seeker, and we should strive for sattva guna. As a sadhak, one should do that. And if sattva guna is not there, we will crave. Sometimes rajo guna is not there, also we will crave. If full day there's only study and meditation and doing some japa and doing some let us say discussion, debate, mind may get very saturated with sattva guna. One wants to do something, some project, some activity, some ambition. So if rajoguna is not there, one can't sit quietly. If one is one is alone for a long time, why long time? Few hours also, then one craves, no, I want to talk to somebody, I want to meet somebody. So our mind will crave for the absence of certain gunas, and it will despise the presence of some gunas. What is the quality of this gunatita? Na dveshti sampravrittani, na nivrittani kankshati. Why? Because the full identification has been withdrawn. That's all. Whatever is the prarabdha of this BMI, it will continue with that. Please remember, this attitude has come because of the sadhana one has done and brought oneself to sattvic level. If one says, okay, I withdraw my identification, that's all has to be done. No, then chalo, I am going to be lazy, but I am not identified with it. That will not happen. Because if laziness is there is attachment. That's why I am being lazy. Attachment to comfort, attachment to body, attachment to sleep, attachment to anything, disinterest. That is why laziness is there. And I am feeling I am lazy. That identification is also there. Till I don't come to sattvic level, I can't step back and see clearly that this is not me. So one can't simply just misquote this and say, okay, now let it be. So what? Who is lazy? Body is lazy. Mind is lazy. I am not that. And then lie in that state. No. This is a Gunatita who has come to the highest level of Sattva and then attained this transcendence. And so the Gunatita is able to say, it doesn't matter if they are there, they are not there, doesn't matter. So, Prakasham ja pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava. Now, when one understands this, what is the meaning of this? The life of the Gunatita is not going to become free from gunas. Because till the BMI is there in this entity, the gunas will function. What has stopped completely is the identification. So one should not think that Gunatita means the gunas will disappear. Gunas will still be there because that's the nature of Prakriti. Till the Prakriti, this BMI is made up from Prakriti. So the Jivan Muktas and the Gunatitas vision is what? This whole universe is made up of Prakriti, including this BMI, and they are interacting between themselves. I am the substratum, I am infinite consciousness. That is enlivening this one BMI as well as the whole Srishti. So the attitude of Gunatita is not only towards this BMI, even towards the other BMI, the attitude is same, that I am only the witness. So in some ignorant person, suppose some ignorant person comes and talks to the Gunatita. Now that ignorant person is deluded, doesn't know who he or she is. The Gunatita is not judging. The Gunatita is saying that is ignorance in that BMI and some knowledge in this BMI is being given to that BMI. I am the witness in both. Which is why this understanding has to be clear. When he says here, Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava. Moha also is there. Where? In the Prakriti, these three gunas are playing. They will be there. In the individual as well as in the world outside, in the various other beings and things, the play of the three gunas is there. Prakriti, Pravritti, Prakasha and Moha. The Jivan Mukta or the Gunatita in this one individual entity as though has dropped that attachment. So one came to realize that there is only one consciousness, that is me. And all this is just a play of the gunas. Now also remember, this we are saying from our standpoint that the Gunatita thinks it is a play of the gunas because we are seeing the play. For the Gunatita, there is only one Brahman, that's all. There is no other experience. But you and I can't understand that. Brahman alone exists for the Gunatita. Because we see them acting, we see compassion in their heart, they are serving the people, and we see so much things that they are doing. Then one wonders how if Brahman alone is there, then how they are seeing. That is because we are seeing the body as our body. This body identification is here. So we see the Jivan Mukta also as a body. And then the body wise they are acting, but they are established in Akarta Bhav. From their standpoint, there is nothing, no karma happening, there is no Srishti, there is nothing, there is only Brahman. Very difficult to understand that, even intellectually. That how this person is doing yet not doing. That's what Gita says in the 4th chapter. Karmani akarmaya pashyed akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayukta krishna karmakrit. One who sees action in inaction. That somebody is sitting quietly but the mind is running everywhere. Then one knows this is action. Appearing in action at the world outside. From external standpoint, the person is appearing as though inactive and only meditating, but very, very active inside. Action in inaction. And inaction in action. The Jivan Mukta is doing so much of work. Yet there is no action happening. From Jivan Mukta standpoint, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Literally nothing is happening. What they experience in Samadhi Avastha, that the BMI has dissolved, has as though disappeared, world has also disappeared. That they abide in that state, even after coming out of Samadhi. That is called Sahaj Samadhi. Fully established in that state, for them there is only one Brahman, nothing else. So one level below is this explanation where one says prakasha, pravritti, because Arjun wants to understand. The question is from Arjun's standpoint, so answer has to be given at Arjun's level. If Bhagavan says, no, no, this Gunatita has no other experience except Brahman, Arjun will get confused. But the truth is, he has no other experience except Brahman. There is only one consciousness, that Paramananda alone is, there is no duality. That is their experience. So now, that's what the next verse will hint at. उदासीनवदासीनः गुणैर्यो न विचाल्यते गुणा वर्तन्त इत्येव योऽवतिष्ठति नेङ्गते उदासीनवत् आसीनः seated high up. Ut means up, asina means seated. Udasinavad asina, like somebody who is unconcerned, indifferent. Why? Because no identification and nothing, no duality exists for them. If at all it exists, we see them, we think that okay, they are there and they are seeing us, they are talking to us, they are working. Then to explain to us, it is said udasinavat, as though they are indifferent, they are living in that high state of awareness from which one is indifferent. Like how we have no. So this state of indifference is not state of escapism. It is a state of how we don't crave for childhood toys, nor do we despise them if they are there. Na dveshti sampravrittani na nivrittani kankshati. If the toys are there, one doesn't say why these toys are there. They are going to hurt me, they are going to tempt me, I am going to be distracted, I can't do my work. Isko nikalo yahan se. No dvesha if they are there. Okay, they are there. Childhood toys. Some toys are there. Okay. And if they are not there, one is not craving. Where are these toys? I need to find them. No, no, bring them. I want them. I'm missing them. None of that. Why? Because we have reason about that. Here the Jivan Mukta has reason about the BMI, Ut Asina, seated high. High where? In the self. Don't think seated high means somewhere on some high pedestal or somewhere up in the clouds. Ut Asinavad Asinaha. Udasinavad Asina. So is absolutely unconcerned. Gunayriyona vichalyate. The gunas don't disturb this person, because can the scenes of the movie disturb the screen? Nothing will happen to the screen. Go on projecting as many times the movie you want. Nothing. Screen is as it is. Gunayriyona vichalyate. The self will never be affected by whatever it is illumining. It can be Rajasic, Tamasic, Sattvic. It is illumining the mind, boss. This light is illumining everything that is here. If pravachan is happening right now, it is illumining that. If some fight happens now here, it will illumine that. If one goes to sleep, it will illumine that. It doesn't get affected by what it is illumining. This Mahatma is established in that consciousness. Whatever happens to the BMI as well as to this world, and this BMI is a part of the world. So from one level down, nothing is affecting that person. From the highest level, there is none of this exists only. So where is the question of being even udasina? But we are seeing the world and we see them. So then from our standpoint, it is said they are indifferent. The gunas don't affect them at all. Gunayriyona vichalyate. They don't get disturbed. They will see the BMI going through the ups and downs through the guna. Because of the effect of the guna, the BMI will go through up and down, but Jivan Mukta is not affected by it. Gunayriyona vichalyate. The gunas don't disturb that person. And what is their attitude then? Guna vartanta ityeva. This is gunas playing with each other. Sattva guna in me, Rajo guna in somebody, Tamo guna in somebody. Some Tamo guna will come in me, Sattva guna in somebody, Rajo guna in somebody. This will go on. This is going on in this srishti. Guna vartanta ityeva. Yo avatishthate. That person who is established in this self, na ingate, doesn't move, meaning doesn't get disturbed at all. So, na vichalyate, avatishtati, na ingate, they all indicate the firm abidance in the self. Gunas don't affect this person even a wee bit. See, we have to also understand, even a sadhak will come to this level of equanimity. Then what to talk about a siddha? A sadhak who has great level of vairagya, intense vairagya, deep mumukshutvam, doesn't get affected by any of the things in the world. That's why that is called as the state of samatha, equanimity. And Gita goes on telling us, develop equanimity. Samadukha sukham dhiram saha amritatvaya kalpate. Second chapter said that. In the sukha and dukkha, one who is sama dukkha sukham dhiram, that person is a wise person. And that equanimity of the mind is the stepping stone to realize the self. Saha amritatvaya kalpate. So many places equanimity is mentioned. Bhagwan tells Arjun also when he tells him that Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papam avapsyasi. If you make these equal, Sukha and Dukkha, Labha and Alabha, gain and loss, and Jaya and Parajay, that is victory and defeat. Meaning, in that context, it is that don't hanker after the results. Do your duty. Tato yuddhaya yujyasva. Naivam papam avapsasi. You will not attain sin then. So, in different ways, equanimity has been mentioned, and that equanimity will come when there is sattva guna, high level of sattva guna. Because rajo guna is attachment, and attachment will take us to extreme elation, extreme sorrow. That is the nature of attachment. It will take a person up and down. And tamoguna also is like that, dullness, lazy, lethargy, ignorance, all that. Only in sattva guna one can become equanimous. So for a sadhak, even the sadhak will come to this state of equanimity so that steady contemplation can happen. If sadhak itself is so equanimous, then what to talk about the siddha purusha, the gunatita? For them, equanimity is spontaneous, natural behavior now. No, Swami, but we see some Mahatmas getting angry also. That is the anger they are using as a tool to correct somebody. They don't have a personal anger at all. Nor are they identified with it saying, I am angry. Nothing. Mind was angry. I was a witness. Gunaiyo na vichalyate. Greatest of disturbances will not disturb them. Why? Because they are not identified with the BMI. Vivekananda ji, he went to America and to address in the World Parliament of Religions, and he lost his whole luggage. Now he landed up in a new country. There he doesn't have his luggage. He doesn't have that paper of the recommendation to represent in the World Parliament. Nothing. He is not having anything. Doesn't know from where his food will come, what to do next, nothing, no idea. But he's sitting away quietly in some goods train he found to spend one night. He has to spend one night before he goes to that office. He's sitting quietly, chanting Mundakopanishad. He's not bothered. Next day he goes to that World Parliament of Religions office. And he tells, I'm representing India. Now they want a proof. He says, I don't have my luggage. Everything is gone. I have lost it. It is not there. Luckily, that convener of that World Parliament of Religions came. And he had met Vivekananda in the boat, in that ship when they came from India to America. So he knew Vivekananda very well. He said, no, he is the person. What he is saying is true. And he took him. And yesterday was that 11th September. 1893, 11th September, Vivekananda spoke in that World Parliament of Religions. So they are not bothered. He's sitting there. And he spoke about Bharat and the glory of our Sanatan Dharma and how we have accommodated everyone and beautiful. And then he was a rage there and lots of talks he did. In one place, he spoke about fearlessness. So one group of young people, they were listening to his talks, etc., following him, and they wanted to test whether he's saying what he's saying, does he live that or not. So they got up in one of his talks later on. They had followed him. Na? So one of the talks when he was giving, they got up in the middle of the talk, pointing one gun at him to kill, to see whether he really is fearless when he speaks about the self is, you know, the Nainam Chindandi Shastrani Nainam Dahati Pavakaha. The weapons cannot cleave it, fire cannot burn it, water cannot wet it, wind cannot dry it. He was saying all this. They wanted to test whether he is really, that fearless. They stood up in the middle of the crowd with a gun. Not a trace of fear on his face. He was standing there. People are running here and there, and he is just standing there. Shoot if they want to shoot. So, gunairiona vichalyate. Sometimes they will express certain anger. In that same ship, Vivekanandji, he was traveling, and that one English person was there who was going on telling, you know, negative things about Vivekanandji, saying, you monks, you have nothing better to do. Look at your dress, how you are dressed, how shabby you are, what are you doing? You should do something productive. All that. Vivekanandji heard all that. Nothing. He didn't speak a word. Let him talk. And he didn't even get disturbed. Then he started talking about India. He said, you Indians are like this. India is such a dirty country. That one sentence he heard caught his collar, and he said, you talk about me anything, doesn't matter to me. Don't talk about my country. Now in that we feel, okay, he got angry now. See, he caught his collar. But that is what we call as the, badhita ahankar. It is like a burnt rope. Burnt rope, no, coiled rope. If it is burnt, it will still look like a rope. If you try to lift it, there is no rope there. It is fully burnt. Only the pieces of burnt rope are there. It can't bind anything. It can't do anything. That is called badhita ahankar, falsified ego. So yes, he is playing some role there at that point in time as a Swami who is going to represent his country, and he doesn't want anybody to talk less about his country, so he caught his collar. But if you ask Vivekanandji, he will say nothing happened. From our standpoint, we see, oh, there's somebody there, and then Vivekanandji caught his collar and he told him, don't abuse my country. So, gunairiona vichalyate means this. They are seated in that self where gunas don't even reach. Prakriti is not even there in that state. But even in the day-to-day life, personally they don't get disturbed. If they show some anger, they show some kind of joy, it is falsified. So, udasinavat asinaha gunairiona vichalyate. Guna vartanta ityeva. This is gunas playing within themselves. Yo avatishtati. This person is established in the self. No ingate. Will never get deluded ki, oh, I am this jiva. Realize the self, all avidya destroyed. Yad gatva na nivartante. That state one has come to. That is called Jivan Mukti. So, now one question is answered. That with what qualities, how do I recognize the Jivan, the Gunatita? So Bhagavan gave two verses for that. Prakasha, Pravritti and Moha. None of this they despise nor they crave. Second, very indifferent, abiding in the self. They think of this whole thing as a play of the three gunas. So they abide in the Atma, as the consciousness. Now these are two qualities, two verses. Next two verses, he answers the question of what is their conduct in daily life. 24 and 25. Samadukha sukha swasthaha samaloshtasma kanchanaha tulya priya priyo dhiraha tulya nindatma samstutihi manapamanayostulyah tulyo mitraripakshayoh sarvarambha parityagi gunatita sa uchyate. This person is called Gunatita. Who? Gunatita sa uchyate. Sama dukkha sukha. Who is same in sukha and dukkha. Sukha and dukkha are results of karma phala. Results of karma. They are karma phala. And this karma phala, jiva gets as per the karma. One who is not even the karta is not even bothered about the karma phala. Sama dukkha sukha. Whatever results come, sukha, very good. Dukkha, very good. Same in both. Sama dukkha sukha. In pleasure, in pain, same. Sama dukkha sukha. Why? Swasthaha. Anchored in the self. Swa means the self. Stha, established. Established in the self. There is no pleasure and pain there. Pleasure and pain are sukha, dukkha, pleasure, pain, happiness, sorrow is as per the mind's vasana. If I get what I like, I feel sukha. If I don't get what I like, I feel dukkha. Suppose one says, I like Rasgulla. Rasgulla came, very happy. I don't like brinjal. Brinjal came, miserable. If the mind wants some contract, it got that contract, oh, very happy. Didn't get, very miserable. This is the quality of the mind. This is the result one gets as per one's prarabdha, as per whatever the efforts one has put. The Jivan Mukta says nothing. Sama dukkha sukha. Doesn't mean they will not celebrate or be sad, but they know this is the quality of the mind their mind is going through. Sama dukkha sukha swastha. Anchored in the self. Samaloshtashma kanchanaha. They have no attachment to any object. So, sama, this expression come even in 5th chapter. Samaloshtashma kanchanaha. There Pandita was described like that. Here it is Gunatita. Again the same. So, Samaloshtashma kanchana means what? This loshta, one clod of earth. Then ashma, stone, and kanchana, gold. All are same. All are matter. In the transactional world, yes, gold has its own value, cloud has its own value, stone has its own value. And obviously, they know functional difference of each and the utility value of each. They are not going to, gold you can use for ornaments. You are not going to use mud for ornament. So if ornament has to be made, he will say, okay, make it with gold. He won't say all are equal, kisi se bhi bana lo. Utility value one knows, but we feel extra fascination for gold, and when we use gold, we feel, I have gold, I am so rich, I am so prosperous, I am so, that all delusion is not there. Because I put gold on my body, now I am looking beautiful. Body only is not me. On that, whatever you put, how does it matter? So, functionally, they know what is the utility value of each. But psychologically, they don't have attachment towards any or aversion towards any. Samaloshtashma kanchana. Gurudev was weighed in gold. To Suvarna Tulabharam they did. So they were collecting gold. Now certain amount of gold they need. And the date of Tulabharam was coming nearby and they could not collect that much. So they wanted extension, time period extension. In Mumbai it happened in Leela Kempinski Hotel. Suvarna Tulabharam of Gurudev. So the committee members went to Gurudev and said, Gurudev, can you please help us, give us some more time? He said, why? What happened? He said, they said, this much gold we have collected, this much is balance. We need some more time. First reaction of Gurudev is this Samaloshtashma Kanchana. Yeah, put some pieces of stone, how does it matter? Literally for him that gold and stone is same only. They put some pieces of stone. Then obviously he gave some more time and then they collected in that time and beautifully, grandly that whole program was done. And their gold coins were, small gold coins were also kept just as prasad. He took them and he was throwing to all of them as prasad. And people were sitting at the back, they were wanting, Humko, please give us, please give us. And Gurudev is heart patient. Still he took and with one great push, he threw behind also. And at the end of it, he did this. It is there in the recorded video, you see. He'll say, he'll do this and he'll say, gold came, gold went. I have nothing to do with it. Super. Samaloshtashma Kanchana, you and I, oh, gold, gold, gold. Nothing. One who has realized that Jivan Mukti Avastha, the bliss of Brahmaji is one drop of bliss in the ocean of bliss that Jivan Mukta lives. What they will have craving for gold? Nothing. They have enough capability to produce that much gold also if one wants. But they don't use those siddhis for all that. Jivan Mukta Purusha, reveling in Brahman, taught us to revel in Brahman. He is not bothered to do miracles and increase the followership or anything like that. And he did not want to do miracles because that is the downfall of Hindu society. They stop studying, they stop doing sadhana and they run behind people who are doing miracles. And Gurudev refused to do miracles because of that. Why should one do miracles? He said, I am not a lame mule guru. You do your sadhana. He brought scripture to our hand, made us independent. Read, study the scripture, walk the path, realize the truth. This is the method of the Upanishad. Which Upanishad is talking about miracles? Nothing. Upanishad is saying, Arey, you are Brahman. What miracles? It is all temporary. However great miracle it may be, it is temporary. Prashnopanishad so beautifully that disciple tells the Guru out of gratitude that we thank you very much. You took us beyond the ocean of grief, beyond the ocean of samsara and established us in the truth. We are most grateful to you. Gunatita is like that. What we will go to them to seek some miracle, seek some blessing for power, position, money. They may bless also, but they have the capability to give us that Brahma Gyan, and they gave. Tapon Maharaj, Gurudev, Shivananji Maharaj, such great masters, lived with such deep vairagya and established in the self. Samaloshtashma Kanchana. Queen of Nepal, King of Tehri, they all are disciples of Tapon Maharaj. And he goes to Kailas barefoot, one piece of cloth. One piece means single piece, not even one kurta and dhoti, one single piece. Gurudev used to say frock. Tapon Maharaj frock. Tapon Maharaj one frock and one frock in his jhola. Nothing more is having. Samaloshtashma Kanchana. Going by begging alms. No cold, warm clothes to keep him warm or nothing. So much vairagya. Anyway, the point is, this is the state of this Jivan Mukta, that in the world one will see them. That world will bring pairs of opposites, but they are not disturbed. In the world they may be praised. Tulya Priya Priyo Dhiraha. People who are, Priya and Apriya, favorable and unfavorable situations happen, they are same in that. Tulya Nindatma Samstuti, somebody may criticize them, somebody may glorify them, they are same in both. Again, this came in Bhakta Lakshana also. Why? Because praise and criticism belongs to that individuality. For some karma that is done, same karma that is done, some people will praise, some people will criticize. And that praise and criticism depends on that person's mind actually. And their understanding and their vasana. The Jivan Mukta says, why am I bothered about their mind, their perception, about this individuality, which is also illusory only. If somebody praises our dream achievements or criticizes our dream fall, does it even bother us? We say it was dream illusory, it was not even real. Why will I? But today for us, this is very real. Somebody tells one word, how can they talk like this about me? Jivan Mukta says, let them talk. This is one example of this Parvailla Swami. The Swami is called Parvailla Swami in South India. He was there, he's not there now. I don't know when he was there, but I've only heard about him. So for any situation that happens, now he will say Parvailla. Parvailla means it's okay. So the story goes that, he was living in one village and the villagers were very devoted and very, kind to him. They used to give him bhiksha. He used to do satsang also. He was living very nicely. One day, one girl, she came and she told people that he is the pregnant girl. He is the father of my child. Everybody got so angry saying, what? And they drove him out of the village. He said, Parvailla. He went and settled out somewhere. And after some time, they found out this girl, she confessed, actually, I'm in love with that boy. And, he is actually the father. But I was very scared. So I just told that he is the father because I wanted to save that boy. Now these villagers all are so upset saying, oh God, there's such a great Mahatma. And we simply went and told him. We simply accused him and we abused him. And then we ran behind him and we drove him out of the hole. They went, they sought forgiveness. Again, that Mahatma saying, Parvailla, doesn't matter. He was not bothered when they were accusing him. He is not bothered when they are acquitting him. Why? Because he is not this individuality. See, in the world, if one is playing certain roles and some duties, one has to clarify the truth, etc. One can do. Don't take this example and misunderstand. This example is to say that the Jivan Mukta lives in a very high state. Worldly things don't even bother. They are not bothered about their reputation because the whole individuality is false. That is what they realize. And they are not doing anything adharmic anyways. There's nothing for them to fear. There's nothing for them to gain from the society. So he didn't bother to clarify anything also. So, tulya nindatma samstutihi. Manapamanayos tulyaha. In praise and insult, they are same. Gurudev was insulted so many times by some of these people, cursed also, saying your tongue will blast into 1,000 pieces. You are giving his knowledge in, Mlecha Bhasha, English language to everybody without seeing their adhikara. He didn't bother. So many people criticize Gurudev saying, what a sannyasi he is, traveling in Mercedes. Are devotees are coming, taking him in Mercedes from one place to another. What is his problem? I have seen Gurudev walking up with his heart functioning so less to come to our house. He walked up and he came. We didn't have any Mercedes or anything to send to receive Gurudev, but Gurudev came. That people don't see, that he goes to everybody's house. Whether you have money or you don't have money, he sees the bhav, he sees the devotion, he comes. One Amma who had sent him 1 rupee in Guru Dakshina, he wrote such a lovely letter to her and he sent some prasad of the Jagdishwar Mandir, sent some bookmarks and all that to her. Many people don't see all that. They only see, oh, he traveled in this car, he's having sometimes gold cufflinks are there. Arey, what is he using it for? Some people have given him, he uses it for what? Who knows all that? They don't see. He didn't bother to clarify. Some people are criticizing him. He's taking snuff. Now he had a deviated nasal what is it called? Septum, deviated nasal septum. He tried so many things, it does nothing was working, and his nose will get blocked and he can't talk. So you see many of the talks in between he'll take snuff. Later on he used to put it in the handkerchief and then take it like that, because then it will open up the pathway. Now somebody in the initial years when they saw him taking that snuff, you are a Swami, you are taking snuff. Why do you take snuff? One fellow he wrote in letter. So Gurudev replied to him saying, I am very happy. You have come up to the nose. Now go beyond it. He didn't take it personally, saying, who are you to ask me? I have a deviated nasal septum. I am taking it because of this. Nothing. He is so, it means it's a whole one Leela happening. No, it's like that. He is answering to him. And in that he gave him the right advice. He said, you have come up to the nose. Na? Now you go beyond, meaning come to the buddhi. Listen to what I'm talking about Vedant, about Gita. Get that knowledge and you also go beyond the truth, beyond the BMI. Know the truth. So Tulya, what is that? Manapamano, Manayos Tulya. Somebody praises. UN gave one certificate of achievement. He couldn't go to receive it because his itinerary is already planned. And he didn't feel, oh, UN program, I am getting certification from UN and they are giving me this honor. I should cancel some program. Nothing. He continued his sadhana here and gave the knowledge, the talk. He told somebody, go and get it. They're not bothered. Not an insult to that UN, but what the point is, some of the honor which we think is very high, for the Jivan Mukta, they don't have that craving for it. So, Mana Apamanayoha Tulyaha, Tulya Mitra Ripakshayoho, they are same to the friend and the foe. Mitra and Ari. What does that mean? It's not that they will treat them in the same way, but again, no attachment to any one person. No dvesha towards anybody else. That is the point. Tulya Mitra Ripakshayoho. Towards some, the people have different bhavana towards them. And as one invokes, so one will get from the Mahatma. And the Mahatma acts out of uncaused compassion. It is literally like that, that scorpion who is drowning in the water. The Mahatma tries to save that scorpion and the scorpion will bite every time. But the Mahatma doesn't stop bringing that till the scorpion is taken out. Jivan Mukta is like that. People may curse, criticize, blame, condemn, but the Jivan Mukta will act only out of compassion, uncaused compassion. Ahetuka Daya Sindhu. So, this friendship and aversion and all, they don't have. Tulya Mitra Ripakshayoho. Sarvarambha Parityagi. All the Arambha, meaning no Karta Bhav. They may initiate many projects or things, all for Loka Kalyan, nothing for themselves. For their glory, nothing. It is all for the seva of the society. They benefit. They want nothing for themselves. So, Sarvarambha Parityagi, Gunatita sa Uchyate. This person is called as a Gunatita. I will take 10 more minutes today so that this chapter will get over. Only 2 verses left now. Now Bhagavan answers the last question, that how does one go beyond? So 26 and 27 are the answer to that last question. Actually the 26th one, yeah. Mam cha yo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. See, how has he gone beyond? Bhagavan is giving the answer so that for us we will use this to go beyond. Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. One who worships me with unadulterated, single-pointed devotion. Sagunan samatityaitan. That person will rise above the 3 gunas. And Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. That person is eligible to realize Brahman. Interesting, na? With one shloka, with only one simple prescription, Bhagavan says, you have single pointed, unadulterated devotion to me, you will go beyond the gunas. Who is that me? Mam chayo avyabhicharina. Mam there can mean self. If you follow Jnana Marg, that I am the consciousness, I am the witness, I am the Sakshi, I am the Sachidananda Parabrahma Tattva. My nature is Atma, I am not the BMI. Either be single pointed in that, yeah, I am that, and practice Sakshi Bhav. Moods are in the mind. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is in the mind, it is in the body, it is in the prana, it is in the world objects, world of objects. I am only the witness. Mam can mean self, or Mam can also mean Ishvara. With single pointed devotion to Ishvara, when one surrenders to Ishvara, then one will come to realize that the Jiva Bhav is illusory. Then one will go beyond. So, this is one method where Bhagavan says, and this is Ananya Bhakti. Mam chayo avyabhicharina. Vyabhichar literally means prostitution. It means to have more than one master. So, if we say I love Bhagavan also and I love the world also, that is Vyabhichari Bhakti. I say I love Bhagavan alone and I love the world because it is Bhagavan. I serve the world because it is Bhagavan. That is Avyabhichari Bhakti. So he says, Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. So when we use the word bhakti yoga, then it means Ishvara only. If you say separately Mam as the self, as consciousness, then it means to be intensely dedicated to that pursuit of one's own true nature. Bhakti yoga there means that. Otherwise, in simple word, bhakti yoga is dualistic form, Jiva and Ishvara. But in non-duality, it is intensity of seeking the self is called bhakti. Swaswarupanusandhanam bhaktirityavidhiyate. Shankaracharya says in Vivek Chudamani. So this is one. Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Now, how does that devotee become eligible to realize Brahman? That is answered in the next one, the last one. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vyayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. When a person surrenders completely to the divine, call it consciousness, call it Ishvara, what does Bhagavan say? Brahmano hi pratisthaham. He says, I am only that abode of Brahman. That individual self or that Ishvara is Brahman. There is no doubt in that. Brahmano hi pratisthaham. That aham, Bhagavan is the very abode of that Brahman, meaning Bhagavan is Brahman, self is Brahman, consciousness is Brahman, Ishvara is Brahman. Amritasya avyayasya cha. And what is the nature of that? It is Amrita, it is immortal, it is imperishable, changeless. Shashvatasya cha dharmasya. He is the pratishtha of Shashvata and Dharma also. So he is the abode of Shashvata Dharma, eternal law, or eternity Shashvatasya cha and Dharmasya cha, of Dharma also. And Sukhasya Ekantikasya cha, and of absolute bliss. Ekantika Sukha means absolute bliss. So if one has single pointed devotion to Bhagavan, one surrenders, or one is intensely seeking only the self, the nature of the true self, Atma. Both these are none other than Brahman, and a person who has this single pointed commitment, dedication, devotion for this will come to realize this. And so Bhagavan is imperishable, Bhagavan is immortal. They are not two different things. They are all different pointers of the same truth. Immortal, unchanging, one absolute bliss. eternal dharma, all this when Bhagavan has said, Sukhasya ekantikasya cha. Now, having said this chapter ends here, that what should one do? Surrender to Bhagavan or seek the self and go beyond the three gunas. And so that is the way this life will be fulfilled and a person will come to realize oneness with the divine. When he said, na, that in the beginning he said, Mama sadharmyam agataha. He gave the whole method. You be single pointed in devotion to me, worship me with single pointedness and serve the whole creation with the bhav I am serving Bhagwan alone. Love the people with the bhav that Bhagwan is in the hearts of all. Then that will lead a person to going beyond the three gunas. This is where the chapter concludes. And yes, so this is where the chapter will conclude. Om Tatsaditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Chaturdashodhyayaha. We will chant this first shloka once again so that we continue to study this chapter, reflect upon it, and realize the truth. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ चतुर्दशोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच परं भूय प्रवक्ष्यामि ज्ञानानां ज्ञानमुत्तमं यज्ञात्वा मुनयः सर्वे परां सिद्धिमितो गताः. So we offer this Manan Sadhana at the feet of Bhagwan. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. ओम तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. ओम तत्सत् चिन्मयार्पणमस्तु. Thank you everyone for joining me in this sadhana to reflect on the 14th chapter. We will conclude with the Arati. We thank all our Yajmans. Yes, I will take up questions also. Let me finish the Arati, then we will take up the questions. So our Mukhya Yajmans for 1 minute. For all the sessions, Tarana Khudchandani ji, Kalpana Morparia ji, Parag Wagh, Bharat Khanna ji, Vandana Jagwani ji. The Gita Arti Yajmans for all the sessions, Rajan Saxena ji, Ajay Merchant ji, Hemant Kumar ji, Rashmi Anand ji, Nalini Sheva Kramani ji, Jayashri ji, Ajay ji, Ajay Kasotia ji, Vinita Sanghi ji, Vipul Dalal ji, Jyotsna Nivatia ji, Jolly Silvipat ji, Vijaya Bhatia ji, Ami Ambani, Anita Narayan ji, and Dipti Gandhi ji. The Dainik Yajman for today, there are lots of them because the sessions we have concluded. So Rekha Shanbag ji, Urvashi Nangia ji, Kishore Mallapur ji, Sadguru Mehta ji, Srijatha Basu ji, Veena Chatlani ji, Monika Malkani ji, Majnu Gauture ji, Preeti Trivedi ji, Bala Subramanyam ji, Jayashri Rao ji, Leena Ramani ji, Hemanti Wadhwa ji, Saraswati Rajgopal ji, Hem Thakoreji, Drupad Mahadeviaji, and Shantanu WSG. Today's Aarti Yajmans, Monica Malkaniji, Sujata Murliji, Rashmi Chaturani, Urvashi Thakurji, Deepika Bakshiji, and Shantanu WSG. So we invoke Bhagavan's grace, Gurudev's blessings on all of them, their families, and everyone present here. May Bhagavan bless us to rise above the three gunas, to realize the state of Gunatita, to live in the world as the Gunatita, and to fulfill our human life. Om Tat Sat, Jai Shri Krishna.
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिय कमल विहारिणि सुन्दर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनि कामासक्तिहरा तत्त्वज्ञानविकासिनि विद्या ब्रह्मपरा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते निश्चलभक्तिविधायिनि निर्मलमलहारिणि शरणरहस्यप्रदायिनि सबविधि सुखकारी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते रागद्वेषविदारिणि कारिणि मोद सदा भवभयहारिणि तारिणि परमानन्दप्रदा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते आसुरभावविनाशिनि नाशिनि तमरजनि दैवी सद्गुणदायिनि हरिरसिका सजनी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरि पर प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर लीजय ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिय कमल विहारिणि सुन्दर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते बोलिए गीता मैया की जय
बोलिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय. Okay, so now, yeah, Shweta.
Hariom Swamiji, I had a question. You said that the Gunatit doesn't get bound by the karma that he does. So when you're saying that, so when he does karma, how does it, is it like a Nimit Bhav he does it with that?
No, there's no Nimit Bhav. Nimit Bhav is only for us as sadhaks. Their bhav is akarta. I am not the karta at all. They abide in that state of akarta bhav. So the BMI is doing. That's why I gave the example of Badhit Ahankar. If you see Gurudev doing some work, establishing the organization, all that, the idea is Gurudev, you and I are seeing him operating. So we say, okay, there is a entity who is functioning there. But from their standpoint, they are not the karta at all. And so that is a falsified ego that is functioning there. It is not a real ego. It is like that burnt rope. So their attitude is not that I am a nimitta bhav. They may say some of the words like that because people won't understand otherwise. So they may say it is God's will. If He wants me to do, I will do. But actual their state is they are akarta. There is no karma happening for them. They are Brahman. And in Brahman there is no karma.
Oh,
All you see karma, that is because of our identification with the BMI. Somebody who has woken up from the dream, where is the dream world? Where are the dream actions? There's nothing for them.
so there is no karma bhav for them at all in that
No.
state.
No. They
So
operate
Swamiji, I
on.
had one more question. Mm,
Yeah, go ahead.
yes, Swamiji, say they operate.
No, no, I was just
So
saying they
Swamiji,
operate from
these
akarta
saints
bhava.
like
Hmm.
okay. Swamiji, these saints like these big saints, you say they have no kartava, like Durvasa Rishi, like we've heard so much, he has so much of anger. Now, how do you define somebody who does so much of tap, has so much of anger? What I mean, to normal human beings, how do we understand that? Because you know,
See, the point
like
is
somebody like Durvasa Rishi, they say he can.
that is because our
Go
seniors
ahead, Swamiji.
have done all the kinds of false depictions. They don't understand. First of all, Durvasa Maharshi is an avatar of Bhagwan Shiva. Open Shiv Puran and read, you will see
Okay.
Bhagwan Shiva Durvasa Muni. Two, his anger is never
Hmm.
a personal anger, though it appears like that. His anger is only to hype up the glory of Bhakta or Bhakti or Bhagwan. The end of his every lila, you will see that Bhakta only will get hyped up. Bhakti or Bhagwan, one of the three will get hyped up, will be glorified. It is for that he will
Ah.
do things. It is not for his personal this thing. It appears like that he got offended, so got angry and he cursed. But it is not like that. It is just
Mm-hmm.
in that context, certain things are required to be done to bring out the glory of the devotee, of his devotion. Ambrish Raja's devotion has to be brought out. So this Durvasa Muni
Correct.
is angry.
Mm-hmm.
Same way, Draupadi's
Okay.
devotion has
Okay.
to be brought out. So he gets upset, and out of his fear,
Mm-hmm.
by 10,000 people have come now, how to feed them, all that. So
Correct.
only for that. Second thing is, if the person is not a realized person, then one should be careful. If the anger is coming because of some attachment to ego, some attachment to some image or some desire, and if a person is doing tapasya and the
Okay.
person has not really sublimated the ego, then it may land up the person in suppression. That suppression manifests as anger. If the desire is suppressed, it will manifest as anger. If it has not been dropped through
Mm-hmm.
viveka, vairagya is not there, one has not outgrown the you know objects and the toys and the pleasures in the world, then it will manifest as anger.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's a sadhak avastha, then one should be careful. But Durvasa Muni, etc., they are Siddha Mahatmas. They are actually avatar of Bhagavan. And in
Okay, Swamiji, one last question. In
Gurudev,
Ramayana,
people
can,
like Gurudev and their anger
hmm,
is to correct us. Again, there is no personal anger there.
correct. Okay, noted. So, Swamiji, just one last question. In Ramayana, they have what we have seen when Ramji and Sita Ji's wedding swayamvar happens, then he breaks the Shiva's bow. So they show in that Parshuramji gets angry over there. That thing is there, and I don't know how much of it is true or it's just a fiction. They show when Ramji pulls the arrow, he says, "I have to." He says, "I will put the arrow in the direction of kill all your something." He says, all your egos or something. I don't know what the exact thing is, but what aspect is that, or is it just a fiction? Or how would you define that for a normal sadhak to understand that aspect again to glorify the Lord's Leela?
Yeah, so read the Valmiki Ramayana. This is description is given in Valmiki Ramayana also. Shiv Dhanush
Hmm.
was brought by Parshuramji.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Vishnu Dhanush was brought by Parshuramji. Shiv Dhanush was already there in this place in Janakpuri. So Parshuram brought out the glory of Bhagavan Ram. That Ram, in whole Valmiki Ramayana, if you see, that is the only instance where the divinity of Bhagavan Ram is hyped up. Not hyped up, it is expressed, it is shown.
Correct.
Everywhere else, Ramji is
Hmm.
only a human being. He is not showing any divine powers. Only in that one incident.
Correct.
That is to make
Hmm.
human beings understand that he is God, he is not anybody else. He is not just ordinary human being. Because Parvati Mata also got deluded
Hmm.
thinking that, hey, is he God? Why is he crying like this for his wife? So,
Correct.
the one who is able to break Shiva Dhanush and one who is able to put the Pratyancha for Vishnu Dhanush is none other than Bhagwan Vishnu himself.
Hmm.
To show that Parshuramji did that Leela. Otherwise, he doesn't have to do. Parshuramji is himself avatar of Bhagwan. He obviously knows who is Ram.
Correct. Hmm.
His anger is only to also contrast. Ramji doesn't get angry. Lakshman gets angry. Ki, how can you tell
Hmm.
like this about Ramji? Ramji doesn't get angry. So that is another point to show Ramji's
Correct.
self-control, his equanimity, his dhairya, his gambhirya. For all that, this contrast has to be
Hmm.
shown. Na? So then Bhagavan Parshuramji does that Leela.
Ah, okay, Swamiji. Thank you so much. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Jyotsna ji, you had asked some question. When sorrow, anger, etc. comes in a realized person, do they just observe the emotion, body pain, and not get affected by it, or do they experience any negative emotions at all? They don't get negative emotions like us because of attachments and all that. If it comes for any reason because of some past prarabdha karma and expresses in the mind or the body, they will observe as a sakshi, let it go. If it creates an impact, it may create an impact. But they are not bothered about that also. If they have to do something about it, they will do. Like Gurudev used to take insulin injection. Body has gone through some diabetes, it has some heart issue. He is doing what he can. But he is not bothered about that. It doesn't affect him. So BMI will go through its effect. Whatever prarabdha is, it has to go through, it will go through. But the Mahatma does what needs to be done. Sometimes they are indifferent to it also, and sometimes in either case, whether they do something or indifferent, they remain as the witness, they remain as the sakshi. Doesn't affect. Last question. Hari Om.
Pranam Gurudev. I have been involved in the business which I have inherited as a family duty, and but my heart is not in it. I feel I have to do something meaningful. I am interested in wanting to open a school for seva, where I want to impart modern education and with practical religion among the students. I feel this is in accordance with my nature. I am confused. What is my swadharma which lead to supreme goal?
If you are clear that this is not meant for you and you want business is not meant for you, then slowly you have to withdraw from that and engage in what is your swadharma. If you know clearly that this is a seva and this is what my vision is I want to do, then slowly shift. Convince the people at home, shift to this, because no point in doing something which is paradharma. It will only add to the vasanas. It will create more disturbance and agitation in the mind. If one is clear that my inclination is towards seva sadhana, gradually shift, take people into confidence, explain to them, assure them. If there's an alternative you can provide so that the business continues, somebody else is there who can handle in the family, then I tell them those things and then slowly shift. One should do what is one's swadharma. That's what the Gita is saying.
Okay. Okay, Swamiji, so this business is a paradharma for me.
If you are feeling that, because you said that my interest is not in
Yeah, 100% feel. Yeah.
then it is paradharma.
Okay, thank you so much, Swamiji.
Jyotsna ji, you had raised the hand once again. Lataji.
Hari Om Swamiji. If a person commits suicide, is it a part of the Prabala Prarabdha or that person?
Is
Like,
not accepted by
because they tell
Shastra.
if you commit suicide, the karma.
Shastra doesn't accept
Yes,
suicide as a prabal prarabdha. Shastra says suicide is wrong. No matter what you do, it may be destined, but you don't know that, no? Matlab, the person doesn't know that. It is the choice that person is making. So the Shastra says you made that choice. Now that consequences will not be appropriate for it because the fantastic opportunity of human life has been squandered away in a very, very terrible way. So there will be negative consequences of it. The suicide is not considered as a prabal prarabdha at all. Though it may be death is a prabal prarabdha, there is no doubt. But suicide is an exception to that because in that you are choosing. It is not that it is happening by itself. The person is consciously choosing to end the life. So that's why scripture doesn't accept it as prabal prarabdha.
Thank you, Swami. Thank you.
We are sending you the request to unmute. Now you are not able to unmute. I don't know why. Jyotsna ji. I don't know. There's some technical issue from your end. Doesn't matter. Some other time you can ask that question. All right. Thank you, everyone. I will share the dates of 15th chapter on the group and then we will see. Take this ahead. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.